It is Sunday. Let's get it. Weekly analysis here. And I want to make a strong statement about my weekly analysis. A lot of people were complaining that Ku didn't know what he was talking about, or every time you do a weekly analysis, oh, your weekly analysis is way off because of this. I mean, I'm talking about where the weekly candle is going to project at the end of Friday. I'm not telling anybody to buy and sell for my predictions. A lot of people get this misconfusion here. Things will change throughout the whole week. And another thing is that, yes, if the dollar goes up, if the dollar goes up, yes, then then I would sell, like I said, I would sell gold, I would sell the Aussie dollar, the Kiwi dollar, I would sell, I would sell the euro, I would sell the pound, and I would buy everything that's US dollars, that's US in the front, USD in the front, and then I would sell whatever is going against the dollar. That is my correlation. Now, do correlations, the problem is that do correlations work out all the time? No, they don't. You have to understand that following the correlation of the US dollar with all the major pairs, I'm talking about Euro USD, the pound to the dollar, dollar yen, dollar to Canada, dollar to the Swiss franc, even gold, Australia and New Zealand. I mean, those major pairs that I always trade a lot, especially with gold, do they follow and correlate with the US dollar? Most of the time, I would say 70-80% of the time. And there will be like 10-20% of the time where they don't follow the US dollar, where they don't correlate. The correlation of pairs are not really effective as they were in the beginning when I was trading. When I was trading last year and up until now. And that's just what I've seen so far, through my experience of trading. The correlation is there, but it's not as strong it's not a strong correlation versus what it was last year trading. You have to understand that political events are nonstop. There are more political events that are happening versus economic events. And remember that what I'm trying to say is that political events will drive the markets more than the economics. So I'm going to dive into here and talk about my weekly analysis, what my predictions are, and then you can take it from there and see what you think is right for you. I'm not putting this out here to say, hey, you should buy this and you should sell this. It makes no sense. So that is on your end to make that final decision for yourself. You shouldn't be looking at my weekly analysis as signals or you shouldn't be looking at it as trading signals, to be honest. I mean, if that's the way you look at my videos as, that's your own fault. I'll just be flat out honest about that. And that goes for, that goes for all my videos. But other than that, I uploaded the 5 videos yesterday about my book, and that's a gift to everybody that wants to actually learn for themselves versus getting signals all the time. So anyways, I'm just gonna dive into the week the economic calendar. Excuse me, but I got sick the other day, so. But anyways, I want to hop in here. Honestly, for Sunday, I'm not worried about what's going on Sunday for economics. Now this is interesting. The Article 50. This would be a very volatile event. I know they put it as a medium news, but guess what? This is a huge impact with the UK. I haven't really read up on this, but I've seen this before. This is another one. This is a really, really high impact LQDFX. Those of you that let's see if I can pull up my. Let me see if I can pull up my photo. LQDFX won't let me trade the pound on what did I have to say here, Monday. They said on Tuesday we can't trade the pound. Now we just want to show you guys this photo. Oh, it's an email that they sent out. And let's see right here. So they actually said that as of 12 GMT time on Tuesday, December 11, 2018. So that's Tuesday, which it is Tuesday. And they're saying trades involving the pound GBP pairs and following in the indices, UK 100, all this stuff. And it says that will be set for only for closing. Traders will only be able to close existing positions on the said instruments. Traders will not be able to open new trades. And they even stated that trading conditions will return to normal following the stabilization of the market shortly after the conclusion of the Brexit vote. Crazy. So, and this is something to actually pay attention to. I highly recommend to pay attention to, because you can make a lot of money or you can lose a lot of money. Overall, the pound's been taking a huge dive from the Brexit deal. Eventually, the pound's gonna come back up. This probably my expectation of seeing the pound spiking back up. That is my expectation. That is my prediction. Don't take it as a trading signal. I can't stress this enough for those of you that have been watching my weekly analysis videos. So if that's the case, I mean, the other option would be the pound would dive down. If the pound does dive down, I mean, let's talk about the pound here. It's going to be a pretty extensive analysis for this week because of what's going on in the political side versus on the economic side. I mean, the pound's been down quite a bit, right? Now, I was looking for the pound to break and close below and come test 126. Hasn't done that yet. Obviously, I don't see any other support until we come down to this support. That's 124, and then I don't really, and then I'll probably just call this a little the next support on the weekly, and that would be a little bit under 122. And then if that is the case for the pound to keep dropping down, I mean, you got to think about it. The pound hasn't been down. I mean, has not been down to this low price. And I mean, if it breaks, like I said, if it breaks 120, I mean, if it breaks 120 here, I mean, like I said, by this price on the weekly, there is no support here, and even on the monthly, right? Even on the monthly, it gets tough, right? Because you're looking at this, right? How strong this pin, this hammer, this candle here that's already pinned down, and there's no other. Like I said, there's no. We got these support prices at 124, then down to 122 here on the monthly. So it's tough, right? I mean, you're looking at this. Is Brexit gonna really break the deal and really gonna bring the pound back up? For me, as a spike going back up, I would probably do it for a retracement. I don't know if I would do it as a swing, because the Brexit is so volatile that even if they do vote, does that mean that the vote is good, and that for next year when they do exit, will that be their exit strategy? And if it's not, and they change their mind at the last minute, guess what? The pound is going to drop drastically, to be honest. So that's something to pay attention to, especially for what's coming up here. Now, I would recommend refreshing your MyFX book calendar, because this thing isn't as accurate on loading up the importance of the high impact news. For like, if you were to use investing.com, I would have to say investing.com and Forex Factory are a little bit more accurate on releasing high impact news on time frames versus my FX book. They say they have it set for Monday, but LQDFX emailed and said about Tuesday. So who are you supposed to believe? My FX book or LQDFX? Obviously, I'm going to go listen to what LQDFX is talking about, because they already have it all set to close out for that day and that time. Those of you that are using LQDFX, you should probably read that email and be ready for that if you are trading the pound and their and their stocks. So that's very, very important to pay attention to. Like I said, I mean, everything would be focused more on the pound this week versus than any other pair. Tuesday, we got average earnings for the pound. I mean, Monday here you can see another set of news for the pound, and then yeah, I got the UK vote. Wednesday, I would be focused on the consumer price index and Powell's speech. Now, last week Powell's speech didn't do anything, so I don't know if he's gonna do anything for this week. Thursday, we're gonna be like I said, Thursday you should the high impact news to pay attention to would be man, excuse me on this one. Let me pause myself. All right, I'm back. So high impact news to pay attention to would be the SNB. If you don't know what the SNB is, it's the Swiss National Bank for Swiss franc. And then it's not about their rate decisions for the ECB. It is about their monetary policy statement and press conference. This happens 30 minutes into the first 30 minutes of New York sessions. And you have to remember that the first 3 hours of New York sessions is the overlap of London with New York. So you don't want to mess this up. By far, I have to say I would have to say the most volatile hours is the overlap of London and New York. It has the most traders, the most investors, and the most activity in that time. Unless somebody thinks that another session is more volatile than that. Friday would be just retail sales to pay attention to. I don't really pay attention to market manufacturing PMI because it doesn't really do anything. If one is bad, then the rest is bad. That's just the way I've seen it. Yeah, so let's dive down here to the weekly to the new weekly chart. Where am I predicting for the weekly candle? I am still bullish on the US dollar. I know it had a major retracement pushing back down. I'm still bullish to break 90 this structure here to 98. That's it. Now another bullish one is gold. Obviously, if you were using the trend line, you can see it's already broken out of the trend line. It's broken out of my resistance price. I mean, it's been dominating the uptrend here, and obviously it's a big bullish engulfing candle above this structure and resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if it does move on its own and tries to push back to this 1300 price. And there's a lot of buying. There's a lot more buying and investing in gold right now versus selling it. So that's something unique on its own. And I would highly recommend reading up on how many people are actually buying gold at the end of this year versus at the beginning of the year. So I would pay attention to that. Now, Australia has a major bearish engulfing candle. So I would be looking for it to come down even further, right back down, probably come test 70 cents. Now, obviously for this week, everything's more focused on the pound. So there isn't really much news for Australia or New Zealand for this week. And it could just end up consolidating this week as well. So that's another thing. New Zealand didn't drop much, but usually my correlation, if the Australian, if Aussie drops, then Kiwi drops with the Aussie dollar. So that's another thing, and that if you see, what I'd be looking for is that either consolidates around my price here on the horizontal lines, 69 and 67. If not, then come down to 67. Let's see here. Euro GBP will be a huge factor with the pound because it deals with euro versus the pound, right? That's what Euro GBP stands for. So obviously, if I'm expecting to buy the pound for this high impact news, and I don't want nobody to be saying that, oh, well, he said that Ku was gonna buy it, and then next thing you know, it went the other way. You have to do your own. You have to do your own due diligence. You have to do your own research, and by relying too much on on what I'm talking about, I mean, I'm just trying to give you guys information and what my predictions are. And like I said, I don't want anybody taking this as trading signals, because like I said, everything throughout the week can change. So you can see the reason why I want to sell Euro GBP is because it's been up for a while, and it's been in this structure, right? This structure here, and this structure here, right? And so, and we know that there's a low price for this one. But obviously, let me pull them monthly so that you guys can get a. So it's been at a higher price here versus the low prices down here. The first low price to target would be 70 cents, and then the second low price would be like 58. I'll round off to 60. 70 and 60. And it's been sitting up at 90 and 88 for a while. So so with this, that's why my intentions would be to sell Euro GBP and buy the pound to dollar for the UK. But anything can happen. And please don't, like I said, please don't take my word for it. I just want to give you guys some insight on what I see here and what might happen. So I can't stress enough for those that are looking at these weekly analysis and they're saying that, oh man, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I was like, I'm just trying to give you where the weekly candle might end up closing for the Friday. That's what I always talk about. I don't talk about, oh, well, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Oh, this might happen. So what I'm trying to say is that where the weekly candle might end up projecting to close at the end of Friday. That's what I always want to predict, because I am, more focused on swinging versus trying to scalp the markets now. So let's hop into Euro. Now Euro here, very interesting. Looks like it wants to push higher. I wouldn't be surprised if it does push higher. So that looks, to me, on this setup, looks like it wants to push higher. If like I said, it might try to push higher for the first couple of days and then probably end up tumbling back down. Overall is that it is still going down. So it's not like gold where gold did a massive bull move. So that's something I was paying attention to. Pound, like I said, the pound. Oh shoot, I wasn't on the weekly chart. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, wouldn't be surprised if Euro tries to come back to 115 and then maybe bounce back down to 113. So very interesting to pay attention to, especially Monday and Tuesday, to be honest. Especially what's happening during the prime times of London sessions and then coming into New York. So it's something to pay attention to. Pound, like I said, the pound hasn't broken this structure, so I would probably be looking at it as a retracement. And if it, like I said, if I do end up buying it, then my target would be, my target would be 130. The reason being because this will be probably a massive bull movement if UK gets the votes. Massive bull movement. Like I'm talking about, oh man, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing moves at least 1,000 pips. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised if this thing gains 3 to 5% on the increase of the currency percentage. So that'd be very critical to see how much the pound is going to gain off the UK, off their vote, off the parliament vote. UJ is stuck at, and it has been, and then it actually went down. And like I said, at this stage, pretty much just like, here, where am I at? Coming to, almost like last year. So if we look at 2018 November, yeah, it actually was going down. And November to 2019, and it's starting to tumble down, just like this one. And then it just consolidated, and then it just did a major drop going down. Can it do that again? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's very, very similar candlestick structure. So we probably might end up seeing USD testing low again. That's just something to pay attention to. So that's another thing. And then let's see here. With USD Swiss franc, you want to look at the structure here. It's been sitting here for a while, and let me move it up. Let's see what's the highest price. Highest price that, let's see, highest price that where is it, that tested with $1.01, and it went all, let's see, down to 98 cents. Usually anything under $1, I would just sell it. That would be my expectation. And like I said, this is a pretty tight structure, especially on the weekly. And you can see there's a lot of structure here. It needs to break out of this zone here. It's a lot of structure. Like basically, even if it does go down, right? This is trending. This is breaking out, going down on the weekly. And even by looking at the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the daily, like you see the downtrend for USD Swiss franc. It gets tough because especially when you zoom back out and you look at this overall structure, then it could just very well just end up sitting here, right? Going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and just ranging in this zone here for a while. and which it has been doing since what, 2015, after the breakdown of this one, shot all the way back up here, and it went down, and then it just, like I said, it's been sitting here for quite some time. That's why the biggest price for, I'm still, like I said, long term, I am bullish on USD Swiss franc, because if you were to zoom back out, I'm gonna zoom back out here. I know you're not, I know you can't really see the candles. This was a low price. This was a low price. Another low price, right? Right. This is by far the lowest price. And if you look at this price has been sitting down closer to the low prices, to the lowest prices, versus the highest price, the 180 and the 185 prices, hasn't been touched for a while. That's why I see a really massive bull movement pretty soon. Probably during tax season or something. So not right now, like I said, the holidays, we're in the month of December, we're in the last month of the year. Holidays are coming up, and like I said, you don't want to jeopardize yourself, trying to make ends meet on the last month. So that is very, very important to look at long-term stretch. UCAD, on the other hand, I'm still bullish on UCAD. UCAD is, UCAD had a major retracement from the 134, but it broke 134. And like I said, my next target would be 137. And then from there, this top price back here, 146. Unless something major happens with Canada or oil prices go back up. That's the only way. That's the only two things. And then other than that, well, I don't want to talk about crypto. So crypto's just trying to retrace back up today. So other than that, like I said, that's it. I mean, I know it's an extensive video. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something, but I can't. I forgot what I was gonna say. So, anyways, like I said, appreciate you guys watching this. And like I said, those that really want to learn how to trade, watch my 5 videos that I uploaded yesterday about my book. Basically, if you take the time and watch those 5 videos, I mean, and actually apply those 5 videos, you'd be well off. Reason being is because I don't want anybody repeating my mistakes. I don't want anybody repeating, the same mistakes that I did last year. And that's a good learning experience, especially taking it from me. So if you keep repeating the same, like I said, I'll be honest, if you keep repeating the same patterns of mistakes, you're not learning. You have a habit of losing more than winning. And you're gonna have to break out of that zone somehow. And that's for yourself. I can't do that for you. You have to do it for yourself. So like I said, I'll supply the knowledge and my experience trading and my predictions on YouTube, but it's on you to make that decision for yourself and actually put the time and effort to make it happen so that you can perform, the success level that you want to be at. That's the most important thing in life. I'm not talking about business. I'm not talking about personal. That's all together. So that's it. Happy Sunday to you guys. Have a great trading week. Be prepared for the UK and the European Union. So those are 2 biggest things for Monday and Tuesday. That's going to set all off for euro and pound for this week. Like I said, I would be more focused on euro and the pound, or more on the pound than any other pair. So that's another thing to pay attention to.